Are you looking to find more joy in your life? Well, we have a new book called Joy Notes, Balancing the Trauma with Triumph by Neo Cairo. This book is so delightful, so inspiring, so uplifting, and you get to meet the author right now. Welcome, Neo Cairo.
Hi, who is everyone? What did it?
So, Neo is coming to us live from New York City, which is her hometown, where her family immigrated from Cuba. And her story is so beautiful and so unique, a celebration of life through music. So, Neo, please, let's talk about why you decided to do this book.
This book was a calling outside of myself. When I went through so many changes in my life, one note that always resonated was you must tell your story. You must give people the ability to know that we are different in different stages of our lives, and we have all these wonderful notes and music that guides us through very tough times.
Mhm.
And I wanted the world to know that there's no one way of living your life, that you have options and you are so much stronger than you could ever imagine. But more importantly, you have so much life to live. Um, and that was the forefront. And I'm very connected to my higher power, and I was guided by God to actually write this book. And that might sound funky to people, but when you read my story, you see that uh, without my face, there would be no story.
Mm.
Um, I really know that God not only gave me opportunities to overcome um, death 3 times, but also told me that it's my duty and my purpose to give back. And I follow the journey that He provides.
You do that so beautifully in this book. So the cover is vibrant purple with different gold and pink, and it's got a beautiful woman dancing, and she has sort of a salsa look from your Cuban, Afro-Cuban background. And it says joy notes, but it says balancing the trauma with triumph, because this is not just about rainbows and butterflies and life is beautiful. This is about some real difficult, horrific, traumatic experiences that you've had, as have the other people in the book, which we'll get to in a minute. So, can you talk about how music has been your saving grace through these difficult near-death experiences and other health traumas?
Yeah, the beauty of the book that it's my story may be the center story, but I wanted to bring other people's stories into it because everybody's story is so important. You see, no one walks around without a story,
Mhm.
and we have to value each other's. And music started for me as a 4 year old.
Mhm.
Um, I started playing the piano when I was 4 years old. And as a 4 year old, I was so blessed with a music teacher that loved music and shared that love with me. So I became this person completely lost in music. And whenever I was sad, I played music. When I was happy, I played music. When I was just trying to get through a mundane task, I played music. And the music didn't have to actually be on in the background, it was in my head.
Mhm.
And it just made me move through things. And as a child so young at 4, my mother got very ill, and I we started going through care treatments and so on, and the music um, helped me through seeing my mother ill, and was healing, and I learned that that was a tool for me. And as I kept going in life, music has been my fortress.
Wow. Neo, we here at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing are so extremely proud that you are book number 48, that you have what we specialize in, against the odds success stories, and you showcase those of others. So, can you please talk about the other women that you interviewed and the process that you used?
Yeah, so I had the opportunity to talk to five different women that had a multitude of changes in their life because of health issues. Um, and it became a kaleidoscope of issues. Some had to do with mental health, some had to do with health equities and being able to make it through your health journey to wellness against all odds. And others just had to deal with facing um, death sentences that they overcame. And every single one of them had wonderful um, elements that they used aligned with music, but also just good guidance on how to make it through when you think there is no hope, to walk into your hope. And that is the beauty of the book, is that you in every chapter have an opportunity from listening to these stories, these incredible women, to gather something that can make your life better, that you can pull from at any time. And you're not stuck to a prescription. You're stuck to the freedom of different avenues.
That is so beautiful. Really importantly, all of the women's stories, including your own, talk about the inequities that you mentioned in healthcare and how your story specifically, you lived in a gated, affluent community, you had a high-ranking job at a hospital, you're educated, and yet some of the healthcare people treated you with total abysmal disrespect. Can you talk about why it's so important to shine a light on this issue so that change can happen?
You know, unfortunately, assumptions and limited beliefs make our lives difficult. As an Afro Cuban woman, I did everything that I was supposed to do. I got educated. I live a good life, meaning that I follow the norms of what they say that you should do to live a good life. And yet, when I walk into a healthcare facility, all my achievements, all that I thought was the right thing disappears. And it disappears not in everyone's eyes, but one person can deviate whether I get quality care or I get no care. In that story that you mentioned, it was an EMS worker that came to my house and I was extremely ill. And the only thing she saw was Black, and she correlated it to a drug addict. She could not believe that I was in pain, that I was dealing with what I was dealing with because I was ill. She believed that it had to be aligned with a drug overdose of some sort. And though my husband was screaming, my wife does not take drugs, she's not even on medication. We don't know what this is, but she's in a lot of pain. We need help. I can't help her. It was only when the other EMS workers came in that I was taken to the hospital for care. And only after he just put his foot down was there an option for me. And that is something that is happening every single day
Mhm.
to so many women. And it is something that limits us as a society to understand we are all human. There is only one race, and that is the human race. And we need to treat each other with respect. We need to value each other. And we need to understand that when we have made the decision to be a servant, a caregiver, that means we care to all. We don't care to whom we're comfortable with. So the book resonates on that particular topic throughout, but it doesn't do it blaming. It does it in awareness.
Mm.
And it does it in a methodology of, hey, let's partner to make things better.
Mhm. I love that. That's beautiful. I love also that your book is not an angry rant. It's not a shame, blame, criticize. It's this is my story and this is how I coped. And music was how you and the other women that you interviewed who are so dynamic, like yourself, the music brought you to relieve pain, to find peace, to heal. And the foreword of the book is written by none other than Gloria Gaynor, the Grammy Award-winning singer of I Will Survive, the global empowerment anthem, who is also your friend. So can you talk about why you asked Gloria Gaynor to write the foreword?
Well, I mean, it's the love song of survival. I mean, you can't think of survival without thinking of that song. And it's a song that has been translated to 95 different languages. And, it's so funny. Um, my mother loves Celia Cruz's version of I Will Survive in Spanish. And she
Oh,
sings it when she cleans around the house. And
oh,
it's such a lovely thing that this is a connector song. You know, um, back in the disco era, um, you didn't leave the club with that song not closing the night. It was the song of, okay, you had a great time and you survived,
hmm
and you can continue to survive.
hmm
And Gloria is a special person. Uh, she's a person that gives freely, and she is such a dedicated person to uplift people. So I didn't even imagine anyone but Gloria um, explaining her own personal story, which she does give us, but also saying, yes, this is a story that has to be told, and we all survived.
Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful. So she also talks about how that song came to be and her own healing story, which is so powerful. And Neo, I also love how you add your father's story as well as your husband's story. So we get those
Yes.
two male perspectives that echo the themes of the book. Can you talk about why you included them?
Well, my father's story was so important because that's the way we were able to make it to America. Also, he was the example. He gave me the example of uh, you don't stop for no reason. Illness, obstacles are just learning points. And he had such a incredible service-oriented philosophy that when he passed in 22, you know, there was a rally call of love all around our community
hmm
for our family because of him.
hmm
So I just wanted people to know that even in loss, there is gain and there
mm
is um, great value that your song lives on. And, he loved music more than
hmm
anything.
hmm
Um, in his funeral, we had a playlist of 120 songs,
Wow.
and um, people were dancing to the music because
Mm.
that's what he wanted.
hmm
So he had to be in the book. There's just no way that he could not be in the book.
I love
And
it.
my husband is a very quiet man, but he had been through so much in life, and kept it to himself and never ever bothered anybody with his situation. And when I was going through the process of the book, I asked for his permission to share his story, which is something that he hadn't even really shared with his own family.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few family members that knew, but many family members had no idea what he's gone through and how he came through. And the songs that he selected as his battle card songs are so powerful because they show his quirkiness and they show that you can have fun even in the worst moments of your life.
Mm,
So I just felt that every men needed to relate to this book as much as women because we're all in a journey.
hmm.
And
Beautiful.
adding the two of them gives men the ability to feel comfortable reading the book. And
Hmm.
that was important to me.
Yes, I love that so much. So, your husband's story, we won't give it away now, but he talks about being a prisoner of war in Vietnam and the horrific things that happened to him and how
Yes.
he survived and healed and went on to have a beautiful life with you. And it's just really spans the scope from trauma to triumph, as your other stories do. And what I love about your book, Neo, is that each chapter is a musical genre. There's jazz, there's rock and roll, there's hip hop, and it's such a celebration of the genres and how they each reflect the person featured in the chapter. So I love the way you did that. But let's talk about how you did this. You first came to me as a book coach. I was thrilled, introduced by Dr. Herman Williams, our very first author that we published. We just adore him so much. Shout out to Dr. Herman Williams, the amazing author in person. And he sent Neo our way, and she and I clicked beautifully. And let's talk about the process, Nia. Why did you seek assistance in getting this book done?
Well, I think that the book process is such a um, holographic process because you have the intuition, I need to put a message out. Then you have your emotions that are wrapped up in your story and being able to formulate it in a way that is digestible to all,
Hmm.
not only to you.
Hmm.
And then the last is logic, right? You're going through the logic process and the very intricate process that it is writing a book. And I knew that my intuition was succinct, it was good. I had my emotions somewhat in check. I learned that they weren't really in check because you get very emotional while you're writing, but you get more emotional when you finally start reading the finished product. It's incredible. I cried, I think, every single time I read the book um, for the first 10 times that I read the book. I
Wow.
couldn't stop crying. So, yeah, but I needed help. I needed to know how to do it. And I also needed someone to bring discipline to the process. I had heard of so many, this book is in the making for so many years, but really earnestly getting down to pen and paper, I would say about 2 years.
Hmm.
But the biggest problem with writing a book is the start and stops. So having someone that puts structure and expectations and is your cheerleader, um, and also, telling you in a very kind way, no, you got to direct this way, you got to do that, you got to meet this deadline, was so something that I needed and valued so greatly. And you were amazing. You helped me find my way at a very difficult moments and celebrated when things were wonderful. And I needed the celebration because I was self-critical.
Yeah.
Um, and also explained the process to me and made sure that we met our deadlines.
Hmm.
And I think that that's, you know, look, you could try to do the self-publishing, and I'm not against that. I think that's, a lot of people do that, but the quality that you want to deliver when it's your story has to be done in a way that is the best because I want to give my best in everything I do. So I couldn't do anything but trust it to someone that has the same level of excellence than I do when it comes to the work that we do. Um,
Wow.
so so that's why I'm with two sisters.
Thank you so much, Neo. That's beautiful. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I have to share that you came to me, you had this idea, you just there's a certain degree of overwhelm and confusion that all authors have when they have this huge idea. It's like a mountain, and deep within the stone there is a beautiful sculpture, but they don't know how to chisel exactly to get it out. And so I help. And in those moments of our creative synergy, when you just lit up, that was magic. You're like, that's it. We
Mhm.
just discovered the gold here. And that was so thrilling. And the book reflects it because all of that excitement and passion and emotion is all poured onto those pages in a way that flows. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful book. And oh, for those who from whom you sought testimonial quotes, what was their repetitive message from each person, not even knowing what others said?
They said the book was transformational. You know, everybody was like, this is, we could not put it down. It was really amazing that every single person, male and female, could not put it down.
Mhm.
It was such a great read. Um, they also loved the playlist.
Oh,
Every single individual talked about how they were reading the book and they were immediately going to YouTube or somewhere on the internet and listening to the songs as they were going through the chapter.
hmm
So it's and they loved the way it blended so beautifully. The
hmm
music went with the chapter and the genre,
hmm
and they understood the genre and they understood how things went, meaning the stories and the individuals aligned with the genre. But
hmm
the big thing was we couldn't put it down, and that was
Wow.
so humbling to hear
Yes.
that.
That's
Um,
what every author wants to hear. We couldn't put it down. And so, for everybody watching right now, we want you to experience Joy Notes. It is available for pre-sale at our website, twosisterswriting.com in the bookstore. You can pre-order your hardcover or paperback right now, and the book actually goes on sale on April 1st. Now, Neo is a motivational speaker. She travels the country. That's why she's in New York right now, speaking to audiences about these topics. And her book is just another wonderful credential to amplify her message to those who may not hear her speak. But I guarantee you will feel motivated and inspired when you read this book. So please share this interview with anybody who might resonate with the messages and get the book as a gift for people. Mother's Day is coming up. What better way to celebrate than give a woman a book called Joy Notes? So, Neo, do you have any other comments that maybe words of encouragement to the audience about why they should read your book?
if you want to walk into your grace, if you want to understand that you are worthy and that you have your own song that you can develop and that can support you throughout your life, come and read Joy Notes. It's
Um,
a small book that's going to bring you into freedom.
wow, I have chills. That is so beautiful. And so, lastly, Neo, how do you feel? Writing a book is a tremendous life accomplishment that most people don't accomplish because it's overwhelming. They don't seek the help, and it's easy to just procrastinate until it's never done. So, how do you feel now?
You feel vulnerable because obviously your voice now is on paper and everyone to judge or to accept.
Hmm.
But I feel powerful and I feel like I'm giving a gift and I'm humbled at that opportunity.
Mm.
So it's a very special feeling, so new to me. Can't wait to see how it really feels when people have their hands on the hard covers and they can give me direct feedback and really enjoy it. But more importantly, I did it. I did what I believe is part of my purpose. And this is the beginning. And I'm just an excited, humble, vulnerable person right now.
Oh,
Ready, ready for
that's
the future.
yes, amazing, amazing. Well, I am absolutely overjoyed that I got to serve as your guide on your book writing journey and your publishing journey. And again, Two Sisters Writing and Publishing is extremely proud that you are now one of our authors and hopefully soon to be best-selling author who will delight audiences when you speak because now they can buy your book. So, Neo, I wish you the best of luck. And I am Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, and we want to congratulate you on Joy Notes.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. And all of you, please go to twosisterswriting.com, pre-order your copy of Joy Notes. It is going to leave you feeling peaceful and happy and inspired, and the stories are gripping and fascinating. So, thank you, Neo. Thank you, all of you, and we wish you happy reading.
Enjoy.